Good evening, everyone. Welcome to North Penn High School's 64th commencement ceremony, honoring the graduates of the class of 2019. My name is Pete Nicholson, and I am the principal here at the high school. At this time, I ask that all of our guests in the stadium please stand as you are able. Graduates, you are to remain seated, while cadets from our Air Force Junior ROTC present the colors of the United States of America and of the state of Pennsylvania. Once the cadets have presented the colors on the stage, I will ask our graduates to stand for the national anthem. Graduates, please stand as you are able. Gentlemen, remove your caps. The senior members of our choir will sing the Star-Spangled Banner under the direction of James Murphy. At the conclusion of the national anthem, please remain standing as the choir will then sing the North Penn Alma Mater under the direction of Madeline Burke.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? As knights who in the olden times would pledge their loyalty to keep their honor shining and ever true to be, we entered here at North Penn High with hearts resolved to dare our noblest aim to bring to fame our alma mater fair.
Thank you, and please be seated as our senior singers return to their seats. Again, thank you and welcome to all family, friends, faculty, staff, administrators, and North Penn School District Board of Directors for joining us this evening as we celebrate the class of 2019 on this 12th day of June. First, given the nature of our dignified ceremony this evening, I ask that everyone refrains from celebrating the reading of an individual graduate with whistles, noisemakers, or air horns, so that each graduate has the opportunity to hear his or her name in honor of the great accomplishments that we are celebrating this evening. The class of 2019 joins me in thanking you for your respect of all of our graduates. We will certainly have the opportunity to cheer and celebrate together at the conclusion of the reading of all of the names. Today, 1,093 students have earned and will receive their high school diplomas from the North Penn School District. Graduates, you have accomplished so much throughout this time, but for a moment, let's reflect on just this year. The class of 2019 had 13 National Merit finalists and 33 National Merit commended students. You have been recognized at the state and national levels for your accomplishments in the classroom and your continued pursuit of excellence across all academic disciplines. You raised over $55,000 for childhood cancer at Minithon. You supplied food and resources to those in need, had more student involvement during homecoming week than we've ever seen before, found success on the fields, on stage, in the gym and pool, in addition to the classroom. This is certainly not an all-inclusive list of your accomplishments, but please let me continue with a couple more. North Penn Class of 2019, you have won team or individual state or national championships in FBLA, marching band, men's choir and chamber singers, band, orchestra, girls swimming and diving, girls water polo, boys water polo, track, Odyssey of the Mind, and unified bocce ball. Please take some time tonight, similarly to what we did inside, to look around and appreciate the accomplishments of you and your classmates. Over the past 13 years, you have been classmates, teammates, and friends, similar to your theme last night at Reflections. As I sat down in preparation for this speech, my very first as principal here at North Penn High School, I reflected on our time together and thought long and hard about some last-minute words of wisdom that would be fitting send-off for you this evening as you leave Crawford Stadium and North Penn High School for the first time as NPHS graduates. First, the reflection. There's been so much that's changed over the past 3 years. You're the first North Penn High School graduating class to both begin your journey through the hallways as Link Crew mentees and end your time here as Link Crew mentors. You're the first class that were all part of the same home office family for 3 years. However, even with that consistency came change. You saw the retirement of one assistant principal, the promotion of 3 other assistant principals, and in all, had 6 different individuals serve in that capacity during your time here. You were here for Dr. Bauer's last year as principal and my first. This year, you were able to get breakfast and coffee from the breakfast cart as you entered the front of the building, if you were on time. And don't forget that froyo at lunch. Your tenure at NPHS saw the construction of the most controversial wall ever built, right here in our auditorium lobby. You entered NPHS carrying notebooks, binders, books, and pencils as sophomores. In your time here, they were replaced by Chromebooks and Google Classroom. But most of all, you changed. You grew, you matured. You learned what you want to do with yourself once you pick your cap up off the ground in a little while and depart this stadium. That brings me to the words of wisdom part. I had an idea of what I wanted to say to all of you months ago. About 2 weeks ago, I put pen to paper. No, actually, I put some typing to a Google Doc, and I wrote everything out. The idea came together easily. I had some people that I trust read it, and I was ready to go. That is until Friday night after class night. Late that night, I was watching the end of the NBA Finals game. I opened my email, and there they were, the 4 student speeches for tonight. I eagerly read the first 3, and they were excellent. Then I got to the 4th, and oh no, you've got to be kidding me. It's the same speech. Not exactly the same, but close enough that one of them had to go. I realized very quickly that Anthony's speech was better, so mine had to go. Actually, first I thought about checking his transcript and hoping he wasn't able to graduate. Then I thought about going back through the rubrics the teachers used to choose his speech and find a way to disqualify him. But then I realized I had to adapt and I had to change. So let's take a look at that for a moment. In life, in order to continuously win in life, you need to adapt. Albert Einstein said that the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Many of you in the future will have jobs that don't exist yet because you'll work in industries that haven't even been invented yet. You'll own businesses that use technology that hasn't even been thought of in 2019. You'll win the game of life if you are flexible and able to change, learn, and grow. It's only through adapting, even if you don't want to at first, that you'll ultimately win. And if we've learned anything this spring, in the words of the immortal ABBA, the winner takes it all. So now I'd like to introduce the president of the North Penn School Board of Directors, Mrs. Tina Stoll, as she offers her congratulatory remarks on behalf of the board. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Stoll.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor as the president of the North Penn School Board of Directors to congratulate the North Penn High School graduating class of 2019. I want to commend all those who helped these students along the way, from family and friends to teachers, coaches, and classmates. But I would also like to thank the more behind-the-scenes people that have also played a huge role in helping our graduates achieve this milestone. Starting with our awesome administration under the leadership of Kurt Dietrich, to our principals, counselors, and secretaries that not only organized this event, but made sure our students had everything they needed to be here today. To our custodial staff and to our grounds crew who have been working diligently for the last several days, setting everything up and making it look so nice and festive in here tonight. To our security staff who will keep us safe as we celebrate this momentous occasion. The North Penn School Board is grateful to all of our staff, not only for their efforts tonight, but for their dedication and hard work all year long, for making our district the wonderful place it is for our students to learn and to thrive. It is absolutely a team effort. The North Penn School Board, both past and present, has had a tradition, which we will continue tonight, and that is in sending our graduates forth with 3 simple and short messages. First, and this is something that you've been hearing probably since preschool, but I am that mom that's going to tell it to you one more time as you are walking out the door, and that is always try your best. Whatever it is you are doing after North Penn, whether you are continuing your education, joining the workforce or joining the military, starting a family or being of service, be the very best that you can be in that pursuit. There may be some days where you might fail, but there will be days when you will shine. And as long as you are doing your best, you will continue to move forward. The second message is to be kind. We live in a time where being kind is especially important. A few weeks back, the state of Pennsylvania commemorated former television personality Mr. Fred Rogers with 143 Day. It is a day to encourage kindness and good deeds. I think Mr. Rogers may have said it best when he said there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. And the third way is to be kind. I cannot impress upon you enough how even the simplest act of kindness, from holding a door open for someone or asking someone how they are doing and actually meaning it, can impact the life of others. Be that person. You won't regret it. And finally, the third message, and this one I say to you from the bottom of my heart as a former North Penn graduate myself and the proud parent of 3 more North Penn graduates. No matter where in the world this life might take you, always, always, always remember that North Penn is your home. Because as the saying goes, once a night, always a night. And we love our nights. So with that, on behalf of the North Penn School Board of Directors, to the class of 2019, we congratulate you. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Enjoy yourselves this evening and have fun, because now it's nighttime.
Thank you, Mrs. Stoll. Next, you will hear from 4 student speakers. The first student speaker is our valedictorian for the class of 2019, Allison Yang. Allison will be followed by our salutatorian, Karis Ma. You will then hear from Anthony Hayes, who, as I said earlier, was selected to speak by a committee of teachers through an application process. Finally, you will hear from Sarah Marshall, your senior class president. Please join me in welcoming the valedictorian of the class of 2019, Ms. Allison Yang.
Welcome students, teachers, faculty, family, and friends. Class of 2019, can you believe it? We made it to graduation. 13 years ago, our journey began. It was a long, winding journey filled with early mornings and late nights, sports practices and music rehearsals, triumphant victories, and learning experiences. But here we are, all 1,093 of us gathered today. We've come so far. But what does being a high school graduate mean? Is there really any difference between us now and after we flip our tassels and receive our diplomas? In one sense, graduating is proof that we've been educated. We're well-versed in literature and biology and algebra and chemistry. We know how to evaluate polynomials and analyze Hamlet's tragic flaw. And by now, I'm sure that we all know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Being a North Penn graduate also means that we battled our ways through the crowded halls in under 4 minutes, managed not to drown in sophomore swimming, and probably saw just a few too many same photos of Dr. Todd Bauer on Instagram. We shamelessly consumed multiple world's finest chocolate bars in class, tried our best not to catapult our Chromebooks across the room in frustration when they malfunctioned, which was quite often, and became world-class sprinters after running to beat the buses every day at 2:12. But what does being a graduate really mean? I could say that it means that we're fully prepared. We're ready to go out and change the world. That as soon as we leave here today, we have to start making a difference in society. Yet, this outlook can be somewhat idealistic and quite unrealistic. To me, being a graduate simply means that we gain full responsibility for our own futures as we enter into the real world. Don't get me wrong. If someone sitting out here in the sea of blue discovers a cure for cancer, becomes president, or even turns into a famous SoundCloud rapper, hats off to you. After all, we're not only one of the largest graduating classes in Pennsylvania, but also in the country, so I wouldn't be surprised if many of you leave monumental legacies on the world. But we don't need to make world-known impacts to be able to improve ourselves and our communities. Life is not an even playing field, and we all have encountered and will face a different set of challenges. However, we ourselves have the ability to craft our lives into what we most desire. Almost exactly 30 years ago, 2 young students who were just a few years older than us now made the difficult decision to immigrate to the United States in search of a better future, leaving behind their families, friends, and everything familiar to them 7,000 miles away. They were in their early 20s, starting a new life in a new country, trying to surpass language barriers, and simultaneously attending school and working hard day and night just to make ends meet. Through their tireless perseverance, laser-focused goals, and sheer willpower, they've welcomed challenges with open arms and built their lives up little by little. Fast forward 3 decades to today. You can find these two people sitting out here in the audience, and for myself, I'm fortunate to be able to call them Mom and Dad. Just like my parents, you all have the power to take control of your future. Whether your ambition is to find a job that you love, beat the world record egg Instagram like count, or start a petition to eradicate nighttime forever, you are the ones who hold the match, who light the fire and determine how brightly your life shines. We can't wait for others to transfer their spark. Rather, we must initiate and ignite our own flame. As high school graduates, we're also equipped with a powerful tool, our education. North Penn is a microcosm of the world around us, and here, we've already been exposed to people with different backgrounds and with differing opinions. In classroom debates and discussions, we've learned to examine contrasting viewpoints and make objective analyses, paying respect to others, even if we may not necessarily agree with their side. Why can't we bring this amity outside of the classroom into our world today? Our current country is politically and socially polarized, with far too many people gravitating towards the extremes. In reality, most situations are not black or white. We need to realize that gray exists, that compromise exists, and accept and honor the fact that other people may have different opinions. Take the education that we worked so hard for these past 13 years and use it to challenge our own biases, immerse ourselves in a diversity of views, and work towards creating positive change. Before I conclude, I would like to thank my mom for being my biggest supporter, my dad for always having my best interests at heart, and my brother Chris for being their best role model and someone I look up to every single day. As a class, I'd also like to thank our teachers for their kindness, patience, and dedication. They've inspired us and helped us see the world in so many different ways. Class of 2019, as you leave the stadium today for the first time as North Penn alumni and move on to the next step of this journey, I hope that you will live your life passionately, meaningfully, and deliberately. Remember that you are the ones who carry the fire. Congratulations, class of 2019. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Thank you. And next, I'd like to introduce our salutatorian and my wonderful friend, Kars Ma.
Good evening, family, friends, faculty, and fellow graduates. To begin, I'd like to congratulate all of my classmates today for successfully reaching yet another milestone. Like every other graduate who has sat on a football field in June, we have been urged to follow our dreams, to make the world a better place, and to be successful. Well, to be completely honest, I have no idea how to do any of that. I'm not sure what my dream is, how I can have any impact on this crazy, unpredictable world, and once we leave the world of standardized testing, what does success even look like? Is it when we earn another degree, when we get our dream job, or our parents' dream job? I think I may speak for many of us sitting here today when I say it's all a bit overwhelming. But as I think back to the people who have made the biggest impact on my life, their success doesn't lie in their education or their occupation, but instead in the compassion that they so readily embody. For instance, it might be a little hard to believe that I willingly partook in any athletic activities in my life, but there were a few short years when I was a swimmer, and while I loved the sport itself, minus the Band-Aid-filled gutters, I found myself struggling under the pressures to perform. Ultimately, it was my mom, dad, and aunt who, instead of pushing me further, displayed compassion and wisdom by advising me to take a step back, understanding that my mental health was more important than any certificate on a wall. So, just as I had my family, we all have those people in our lives that have consistently adopted simple acts of kindness to look out for us and to make our days infinitely better. And while the small choices to be considerate, compassionate, and grateful in our daily interactions might not seem like the most typical definition of success, each of these actions accumulate to make a positive change in the lives and communities around us. I think that we can agree that our world needs more people to embrace these qualities more often, and I trust that we are all capable of embodying them every day. Well, at the very least, on most days. So, as we sit here tonight at what feels like the scary beginning of this unknown future, we can remember that small actions and little goals, coupled with compassion, perseverance, and a bit of luck, may be enough to send us well on our way. The future is not a completely blank canvas because we have spent the 12 years painting our backgrounds with our own distinctive palettes. We've survived so far, and even if we look to the future not knowing how to be successful, we can always start by thinking about the small actions of the kind people who have supported and inspired us. Armed with the right attitude and with little goals in mind, we are ready to slowly begin to paint our new paths. As stated by the artist Vincent van Gogh, great things are done by a series of small things brought together. So while we may not know the end point, we can take comfort in knowing that we will get there one step at a time. And now, I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Anthony Hayes.
Good evening. First off, I am honored to be here tonight with the North Penn High School staff and faculty, as well as the families and the class of 2019. Before I get started, there's something I want you all to consider. How many of you have seen the slogan at the top of the North Penn School District webpage? And in case you're not quite familiar with it, the slogan says, "Dream big, achieve greatness." Now, I'm sure a lot of us here have probably seen it at least once or twice, and I personally find it to be a pretty interesting slogan. Let's just say that if I so happen to be a marketing person who makes slogans for a school district like North Penn, I would make my school slogan a little bit different. Here's what my school slogan would say: dream big, fail big, achieve greatness. And of course, a lot of you might be wondering why I would make such a slogan that encourages us all to fail. Because that is probably the last thing that you would think about on a beautiful day like today, graduation. Well, in order for me to tell you all why you should fail big, I want to ask this other question. By a show of hands, how many of us here at this stadium tonight have ever used a vacuum cleaner? Yes, a vacuum cleaner. Come on, let me see those hands. And maybe if you haven't used one, maybe at least you've seen one of your parents use it for you, right? Because I know I have. Now, here's a fun fact about the vacuum cleaner. There is one particular kind of vacuum cleaner that was invented by a British engineer named James Dyson. And the reason I bring this up is that James Dyson, despite having invented this vacuum cleaner, did not quite get it right on the first try. Guess how many prototypes of those vacuums that James Dyson had to make before he finally got it right? Did he make 10 of them? 20? 100? 200? 500? How about 1,000? Believe it or not, James Dyson had to make 5,126 of those vacuums, and they all failed. Until, on attempt number 5,127, James Dyson achieved greatness after failing big. Now, can you imagine trying something over 5,000 times and only succeeding once? Actually, here's another way to picture it. If you look around yourselves right now, there are more than 5,000 people here at Crawford Stadium tonight. Imagine if all of those people were asked to go do something, and all of them failed at it, before finally, one person out of those 5,000 finally came along and got it right. Look at how much failure that would be. And a lot of us I'm sure might think that failure is a bad thing, and none of us want it to happen to us. But this is because we have all defined failure incorrectly. How I define it, failure is that space that lies in between the dream and the achievement. And when you fail at something, you get two options. You can either keep trying, or you can quit. But it is the grit and it is the perseverance that can make us all capable of turning our dreams into achievements. Much like James Dyson inventing his new vacuum cleaner, we will all have our own share of failures. We must embrace those failures, do what we all feel passionate about, and always be motivated to strive for greatness. So whatever big task it is that you might have coming, whether you fail at that task once, twice, or 5,126 times, just remember that if you give your very best effort, no matter what, you will one day achieve greatness. I want to take the chance and give a special thanks to my parents, as well as all of my teachers and the North Penn High School staff, the faculty, for everything that they have done for us. But most importantly, helping us through all of our failures, so we can all live unafraid in the space that lies in between the dream and the achievement. Thank you very much, everyone, and I wish the very best of luck to the class of 2019. I would now like to hand it off to the class president, Sarah Marshall.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start by taking a moment to thank everyone from teachers to administration, to friends and family, and most importantly, to us students for being here today. This is the day we have been looking forward to for at least a month or so. Well, for most of us, much, much longer. And the truth is, to get here today, we all had to prepare. Whether that preparation was working our hardest to pass a class or simply just looking for the perfect graduation dress or tie, we have all made some effort to be able to sit in these chairs today. For me, I had to prepare to be here by writing this speech. Well, kinda. I tried to start before December and planned to have it written by winter break so I wouldn't have to worry about it. Well, if we were to flash forward to February of this year, I would still have a blank Google Doc named Grad Speech. I had no idea what to write about, but graduation was far enough away that I didn't truly have to worry about it. Then came March, then April, and that Google Doc, still blank. My mom was beginning to get mad at me that I hadn't written any of this speech, and I just kept saying, I will, I will, I will. However, I have perfected my procrastination skills over the last 13 years, as many of you probably have. So we all know that I didn't. Because still, I had no idea what to write about. And then came mid-April. It clicked. Between all the yelling from my parents and the many ways I avoided the thought altogether, shout out to Netflix on that one, I learned that this time wasn't wasted at all. In fact, it was exactly what I needed to just take a breath and live in the moment. To not think about what is to come or what has already happened, but to just be present and enjoy it. I know we are all sitting here today thinking about what lies ahead, and I can assume that we are all extremely excited and scared in the best way, as we should be. If you think about it, we are about to embark on the rest of our lives, whether we are going into the workforce, college, the military, or just taking a much-needed and well-deserved break. The possibilities of what we do next are absolutely limitless. Nevertheless, we can't allow these possibilities to overwhelm us. We can choose to either be narrow-minded and push things from outside of our comfort zones away, or we can choose to live in the moment and be open to each new opportunity that comes to us. Don't get me wrong. I have a rough sketch of what I want in my future, but it's just that, a sketch. Think about how our teachers taught us to write papers. We start with an outline that, in the end, is completely different than what our final draft is. And that's because there's so many steps between the outline and the final draft. Or think about all those colleges or jobs you may have applied to that we decided to decline in order to take a different path. I was set on and had applied to 5 colleges, until one day in English class, I found a 6th. The only thing I knew about this college was that it had my major. Within 20 minutes of finding it, and on the last day possible to submit, I applied. I will be attending that college in the fall. No matter what you plan for, something will change. As the famous actor Christopher Walken states, at its best, life is completely unpredictable. We can't get caught up in our plans, and we need to begin slowing things down. A few weeks ago, I was sitting at my sister's college graduation listening to the keynote speaker. He repeatedly said, in a world that moves so fast, take some time to slow down. I eventually picked up on it around the 4th or 5th time he said it, and realized I could take that advice. As our teachers warned us they would, the last 2 months here at North Penn have flown by. We had prom, then class night, then reflections, and now, somehow, we have all made it here to graduation. And it all happened within a blink of an eye. So I figured before we leave tonight, excited about our future and the next steps in our lives, we should take a moment to slow down. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and slow down. And when you open your eyes, try to see the vast opportunities and possibilities that lie in front of you. Realize that the past is the strongest part of who you are, because without it, you wouldn't be where you are now. With our next step in life, find new opportunities and run with them. Thank you, and congratulations again, class of 2019. We made it.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to all of our outstanding speakers this evening. We are proud of all of you. At this time, as we prepare to read the names of our graduates, I would ask our senior class officers to join me on stage. Sarah Marshall, Jared Albano, J.P. Gratton, and Sean Laconi. Our senior class leaders will read the name of each graduate, and legacy photographers will take a picture of each graduate as they receive their diploma. At this time, I would like to ask our school board members and home office secretaries to come to the front of the stage to help with diploma distribution. I would also like to have Ms. Mary Scott and Dr. Marjorie Dieg, your assistant principals, as well as Dr. Kurt Dietrich, superintendent, and Dr. Todd Bauer and Jenna Rufo, assistant superintendents, join me on stage.
Hello. You look good. Thank you.
You got this.
Hopefully they're just getting their cheers up now.
Yeah, they can't help themselves. Look, we got this photographer crawling around on his stomach.
Now, if the first row of each section would please stand up and process toward the stage, we can begin the reading of the names. While the students are seated alphabetically, the rotating nature of the names means they will not be read in alphabetical order. All students will exit the stage at the 50-yard line. Listen carefully so you can see your graduate receive their diploma. Again, the class of 2019 joins me in asking that you refrain from emphatic celebration at the time a name is read. Each student deserves the chance to hear their name announced. And with that, it is time to begin.
I'm gonna go off this most excited. But just to make sure I'm not skipping.
MD Minazul Abadin.
Sang June
Ava Isabel Lehrman.
Cameron Jean Russell. Alexander Joseph Abend.
Madison Elizabeth Eppers.
Gabrielle Shea Leon.
Lauren Nicole Ruth. Kevin Abraham.
Kevin Matthew Earhart.
Morgan Blake Levins.
Felix Caplino Rudo. Noel Abraham.
Connor James Ertel.
David Marcel Lewis Jr.
Josie Sabrina Ruzick. Kiera Lily Adams.
Ashley Evelyn Ettinger.
Jalil Thomas Lewis.
Dylan Trevor Ryan. Samantha Lynn Adams.
Alexis Catherine Evans.
Yajun Lee.
Courtney Ann Sabanis. Kashaya Addison Smith.
Brielle Lauren Eve.
Amy Chaubo Lin.
Lauren Gacius Sabater. Nathan J. Adley.
Cody W. Everts.
Brianna Renee Lingo.
Frank Mohammed Sadiq. Jude Edham.
Andrew Scott Everett.
Logan James Little.
MD Yamin Safit.
Fabiha Afrin.
Caleb Daniel Faya.
Thomas Michael Lloyd.
Mudakemwa Safi.
Sarah Ahmed.
Elena Marie Faison.
Lindsay Ariane Lohan.
Raj Kumar Saha.
Fido Sharif Ahmed.
Andrew Farid.
Mauricio Loha.
Elizabeth Carolyn Saldudi.
Sarah.
Jaron Ahmed.
Sarah Michelle Farley.
Brina Elizabeth London.
Maggie Safwat Salib.
Nabiha Ahmed.
Caitlin Marie Farrell.
Alexander Lonkevich.
Allison Rose Selkowski.
Young Woong An.
Lauren Mary Faisana.
Amy Lopez.
Nashat Sama.
Tanzan Asan.
Carson Robert Fayard.
Manuel Xavier Lopez.
Caden Lewis Salvino.
Juan Moises Ahanya Lopez.
Christian David Fazio.
Eric Antonio Paul Loro.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Salvino.
Farhana Aki.
Isaiah Jeffrey Fazio.
Gregory Thomas Lostino.
Pooja Naranjan Saman.
Andrew Akraz.
Riley William Fine.
Emma T. Loteca.
Alejandra Noreen Samuels.
Miss Shahima Akhtar.
Riley Catherine Fetzer.
Joshua Robert Lowe.
Jose Emiliano Sanchez Gonzalez.
Sabrina Akhtar.
Hunter Sean Fiddick.
Mackenzie Lee Lowry.
Jordan Michelle Kelly Sanders.
Shohan Akhtar.
Olivia Marie Filifero.
Haiming Liu.
We're slow. Madeline Catherine Sandone.
Shad Alam.
Siani Fishley.
Cheyenne Kira Lucas.
Samuel Vincent Santangelo.
Walter Manuel Alarcon Guerra.
Max Lucas Fogel.
Veronica Carolina Lucas Late.
Nicole Larangero Santos.
Faith Catherine Albrecht.
Olivia Janelle Fallon.
Andre Christopher Liu Jr.
John Sapp.
Samuel Anthony Alidi.
Nicholas Danilo Forte.
Jonathan William Lukey.
Somebody else just got
Jake Thomas Alexander.
Marlena Elizabeth Fortune.
Leland Sampson Lee.
Fatima Tasman Ali.
Christopher J. Foster.
Julie Jaeyeon Liu.
Eric Sean Sarbacker.
Caitlin Lee Allen.
Zachary Thomas Folk.
Karis Puiying Ma.
Sonny S. Savalia.
Carly Jill Alling.
Grace E. Fox.
Jordan Tama May.
Shafar Constantino Savoy.
Edward Francis Altmeyer.
Noah Hayes Fox.
Erin Elizabeth McDonald.
Gwyneth Marie Candy Schaefer.
Mary Grace Altamari.
Madison Claire Francis.
Logan Jeffrey McCosco.
Alexander Scheffler Murray.
Olivia Florence Amulong.
Caitlin Carmela Fries.
Malia Amor Macron.
Kaylee Aliyah Scheib.
Janelle Renee Ament.
Isabella Adeline Freer.
Mega Madala.
Amanda Pauline Shafiano.
Siddhi Sushil Amasur.
Gabriel Christopher Friel.
Andis Madani.
Ashley Nicole Schmidt.
Michael Amendola.
Justin David Fritz.
John Victor Maggi Jr.
Michael Anthony Schmidinger.
Veronica Anant.
Kylie Ray Fritz.
Bonnie Brianna Maglin.
Noah Eric Shinoble.
Kaylee Noel Anaya.
Adelaide Joan Frost.
Joshua Nelson Mayer.
Constance Eleanor Schnell.
Amira Anus.
Brennan Faith Gage.
Aritra Chandra Majumdar.
Kelly Ann Schoening.
Megan Maliwa Akias.
Dalton A. Galinsky.
Lolly Maldonado.
Alina Scholes.
Maria Bueno Archaga.
Bridget Victoria Gallagher.
Ene Maldonado Silva.
Brian John Shoppy.
Cassandra Rose Argento.
Macarios Gamil.
Huzaifa A. Malik.
Jameson Riley Shorn.
Alexander Paul Armstead.
Dimple Kaushik Gondivia.
Philip Anthony Maltese Jr.
Parker Angelina Scholes.
Nicholas Jordan Armstead.
Holly Elizabeth Gardner.
Luis Antonio Maltese.
Kyle Anthony Schultz.
Brian James Arnold.
Marcelia Elizabeth Gartner.
John Carlo Manna.
Tyler Axel Scholes.
Kiara Ama Arthur.
Madison Drew Gaylord.
Anthony Robert Manis.
Elliot James Schwartz.
Chabuka Asanye.
Jillian Lee Gerginger.
Adriana Renee Marchuski.
Scott Elliott Schwartz.
Nafisha Awal.
Josephine Olivia Giordini. Gennardi.
Madison Elizabeth Maroney.
Benjamin Jacob Schwarz.
Andrew Ahab Aziz.
Jonathan Charles Gerwick.
Brandon Diaz Marquise.
Brett Morgan Schwangels.
Adam Aisha Ba.
Megan Elizabeth Gelati.
Olivia Ann Marshall.
Ashley Lorraine Scott.
Niaz Al Rahman Shazad Baharuddin.
Sana Salman Gilani.
Skylar Lynn Martin.
Brianne M. Scott.
David J. Beck.
Alex Michael Gilbert.
Alexander Nicholas Martinez.
Hannah Nicole Scott.
Danielle Zoe Baines.
Taylor Akina Gilbert Fisher.
Emily Jean Martinez.
Maggie Talat Safin.
Abigail Reese Batinger.
Kelly Ann Gilmore.
Drew Charles Masick.
Connor James Selb.
Emily Kate Baker.
Maeve Elizabeth Gimbert.
Alexa Teresa Mastromato.
Alyssa Cadine Salvarian.
Madeline Katrina Baker.
Andrew John Gimpel.
Kelsey Nicole Mauger.
Pranav Govindan Sentahamurgan.
Abdul Karim Bakri.
Anthony Joseph Giuliani.
Aiden Michael Maupe.
Nicholas Robert Serini.
Gabriel Drake Anderson.
Alexa Renee Galinsky.
Elijah Jacob Scott May.
Jane Christine Sassari.
Isabel Elaine Baldy.
Kaviana Gwendolyn Glynn.
Ollie Rena Joy Mayront.
Stephen James Seymour.
Devin Mira Baldwin.
Annabelle Marie Getter.
Mary Ann McAlery.
Brandon Thomas Schaefer.
Jessica Barahana Ochoa.
Alexander Justin Golden.
Sydney Marie McBean.
Amanda J. Shams.
Devin Delano Barclay.
Nia Nicole Golden.
Alexis Paige McDonald.
Vinayak Shankar.
Rebecca Ann Barnett.
Seth Joshua Goldman.
Kelly Ann McFarland.
Heather Nicole Shannon.
Anna Aurora Barron.
Ava Thrillier Gomez.
Joshua Dennis McCool.
Shah Mubashira Sharif.
Janelle A. Baruti.
Lady Garduno Gomez.
Tolly Stephen McIver.
Kayla Michelle Sharkey.
Keith Joseph Bombeck.
Malaya Renee Hanita Goodman.
Ava Sule McKee.
Maurice Sharp.
Ryan Michael Bausman.
Debian Lee Gore.
Lillian May McKee.
Andrew Brian Shaw.
Jake Michael Bavuso.
Brian J. Graber.
Joshua Ryan McKinney.
Jacob Alexander Shaw.
Catherine Francis Bean.
Cameron Paul Graff.
Luke Daniel McMahon.
Alu Sharif.
Hannah Marie Becker.
Emma Elizabeth Grattan.
Karma McMillan.
Eubine Shin.
Jamie Christine Beer.
David Robert McPeak.
Minhyun Shin.
Jason Henry Bideman.
Bronwyn Lily Gray.
Marie Marguerite Medoff.
Anna Margaret Shinners.
Drew Belser.
Delaney Ray Gray.
Tasmia Meme.
Maura R. Shush.
Molly Elizabeth Benny.
Jonathan Andrew Griffiths.
Isha R. Mehta.
Mehaloni Lynn Shoaib.
Jared Tyler Betts.
Lauren Elizabeth Grove.
Evan Charles Mears.
Lamia Marin Shushmi.
Michael James Bevanor.
Samantha Cheyenne Grubel.
Luis Enrique Mejia.
Alexandra Sedak.
Isaiah Michael Bruce Beverly.
Victoria Amelia Guazzo.
Yasmin S. Mejia.
Rachel Marie Simmons.
Rhythm Bhattacharjee.
Shayona Gupta.
Aaron Lewis Menzo.
Ariana Lene Simmons.
Vito Joseph Bianco III.
Shannon Brophy Hadrick.
Thomas Benjamin Mera.
Kelly Ann Simmons.
Emily Ann Biddle.
Mohammed Sheriff Haidara.
Alexander Robert Mercer.
Madeline Alyssa Sinclair.
Devin May Badeau.
Peyton Thomas Hall.
Saruz Maya.
Gurpal Singh.
Christy A. Biswas.
Tyler Richard Hall.
Joseph Brian Michael.
Harneet Singh.
Jack Anthony Bidding.
Jacob M. Halpern.
Anthony John Mignon.
Tatiana Chelsea Sistrunk Johnson.
Joy Adolfo Blackman.
Taylor Nicole Halteman.
Fady R. McHale.
Joy Lynn Slater.
Zachary Ryan Blanchard.
Francis John Hammond.
Zachary David Miles.
Olivia Ann Slater.
Laurel Marie Blattner.
Ashley Sabier Hahn.
Brooke Alexandra Milivoy.
Madison Marlene Sloan.
John Joseph Bloomer III.
Minajul Hawk.
Jung Hong Min.
Jacob Daniel Shive.
Amaya Noel Blount.
Matthew Thomas Harfman.
Erin Nicole Mindick.
Madison Renee Smiley.
Noah Michael Boast.
Edward William Harkins.
Pedro Gabriel Miranda.
Tyler Joseph Snively.
Caroline Marie Bowling.
Caitlin Emily Harkrader.
AJ Mitchell.
Kevin James Snow.
David Liam Boland.
Callie Hope Harp.
Gina Marie Moffa.
Christian Yates Snyder.
Maureen T. Boland Bentner.
Thomas Michael Harper.
Daniel Mojica.
Stephen Charles Snyder.
Anna Bertha Bonilla Tercios.
Amir Hamid Harrell.
Ethan Edward Montague.
Andrew Clark Sabaluski Jr.
Daniel Thomas Bonsignor.
John Patrick Harrigan.
Jacob Richard Morello.
Catherine Lee Sobis.
Daniel Jacob Bornstein.
Dana Janelle Harris.
Lucas Neto Morley.
Amber Paige Solis Introcaso.
Alexander David Borglum.
Simone Catherine Harris.
Felix Nyagaka Moronge.
Andrew Song.
Nicholas Borglum.
Avery Sophia Hartman.
Kenneth Teresa Moser.
Daniel Song.
Noah Nicholas Bauer.
Nathan Robert Hartman.
Mabuba Mo.
Brandon Tyler Sonneborn.
Caesar Estuardo Boya.
Andrew Tyler Hartwig.
John Harry Mowbray.
Isabella Maria Sparaccio.
Amy Lynn Brandis.
Mahedi Hassan.
Jacqueline Elizabeth Moyer.
Alexa Marie Sparango.
Rebecca Madison Brandolph.
MD Mahedi Hassan.
Miranda Tess Mueller.
Michaela Ann Sparks.
Parker Christian Brandt.
MD Mahedi Hassan.
Shannon Rose Mullen.
Brandu Matthew Spencer.
Maeve Claire Breen.
Cassandra Michelle Hawks.
Hay Chol Moon.
Claire Sprang.
Latrell Keyshawn Bruton.
Anthony Michael Hayes.
Samantha Ariel Muniz.
Lindsay Jordan Spritzler.
Emma Rosemary Brightman.
Jonathan Jerome Haynes II.
Timothy James Murphy Jr.
Donovan Jacob Stahl.
Alexandra Shireen Brissett.
Emily Hine.
Sarah Elizabeth Murray.
Jared Brandon Stahlgren.
Sophia Avery Broadhurst.
Crystal Sarah Heinlein.
Haley Patricia Muth.
Sydney Rose Stark.
Reese Elizabeth Probst.
Davison John Hines.
Brian Allen Myers Jr.
Emma Victoria Steersman.
Madeline Grace Brouch.
Ryan David Heinz.
Nandita Nagendra.
Samantha Faith Steck.
Ethan Gabriel Brown.
Evan James Heisey.
Jasmine Carr Nagra.
Eva Marie Steele.
Cameron Reese Brown Martin.
Kalina Catherine Held.
Aaliyah Rayana Namey.
Joseph Thomas Steiner.
Zoe May Bruno.
Andrew Helt.
Ryan Matthew Nolte.
Melissa Paige Steinheiser.
Sadie Jane Bryant.
Caitlin Nicole Helt.
Niti K. Negi.
Catherine Elizabeth Stevens.
Kaylee Gail Bryson.
Jessica Lynn Hennigan.
James Michael Neild.
Evan Carter Sternbach.
Julia Elizabeth Bucafori.
Thomas Charles Henning III.
Jake Robert Nelson.
Tyler Drew Stevenson.
Grace Catherine Buttle.
Shane Michael Herb.
Leonardo Nessie.
Andrew Charles Stewart.
Chloe Morgan Bolanagi.
Turner James Herbine.
Alexis Ta Win.
Malik Leandrew Stewart.
Nicholas Daniel Berdeniak Plen.
Alejandro Hernandez.
Dalina Win.
Donald Stites III.
James Aiden Berger.
Andrew Paul Heron.
Kevin Haidang Win.
Megan Christine Stoller.
Julius Stepping Wolf Berger.
Jared Robert Hewitt.
Falk Van Nguyen.
Alexandra Stasic.
Madeline Rose Burke.
Jacob Allen Higgins.
Samuel Win.
Madison Olivia Stotler.
Madeline Rose Burke.
Matthew William Higginson.
Victor Toan Nguyen Tan.
Joseph Stephen Stewart.
Rachel Rose Bernstein.
Isaiah Jasani Hill.
Nicholas Charles Nakini.
Carlene Rose Stumpo.
Paige Montana Burrell.
Matthew James Hill.
Nicholas James Nixon.
Aiden Paul Sullivan.
I'm Unique Chanel Butler.
Eric David Hilliard.
Ryan Christopher Nositra.
Taheem Hunter Sullivan.
Daniel Joseph Butler Jr.
Jordan Aaron Hines.
Shafi A. Nomari.
Sumaya Sultana.
Joseph Daniel Byers.
Madeline Riley Hines.
Amatun Noor.
Hamida Sumaya.
Tyler Kajina.
Ethan Huang.
John Tyler Norman.
Shadia Islam Sumi.
Madison Amanda Calabretta.
Nicholas James Hoffman.
Sherry Nuruddin.
Christian Joseph Suppi.
Lexia Paige Calabro.
Ryan David Hoffman.
Sean Lewis Nubla.
Sophia Audra Sardanis.
Melina Ray Calarco.
Molly Elizabeth Hofstritter.
Stephen Obiama Wogagu.
Andrew James Swafford.
Paul Christian Calendar.
Maya Nadia Angela Holman.
Benedict Nameka Wukalo.
Nathan Robert Taggart.
Mark Lester Colma.
Mitchell Reed Hollinger.
Erin Kaylee O'Brien.
Faiza Taranum.
Colleen Samantha Camburn.
John William Holmberg III.
Danielle Lee O'Connell.
Christian Joseph Tarlow.
Abigail Caroline Cannon.
Trinity Elizabeth Holmes.
Kyle Francis O'Connor.
Sonia Natasha Tasneem.
Jacob Joe Capers.
Naveed Estashaw Hoke.
Liza Marie O'Farrell Mercado.
Fariha Tasneem.
Jenica Brunel Capilli.
Lorelei Faith Fischel Harrell.
Alexander Samuel Oger.
Lauren Marie Temler.
Roman James Capella.
Najee Monique Horton.
Anna Elizabeth O.
Cowrie Tariva.
Christopher Michael Caputo.
Mohammed Shokat Hussein.
Nathan O.
Yes Kumar A. Thakor.
Yasmin Carrasco.
Tasnuba Hussein.
Michael Connor O'Hagan.
Claudia Marie Dam.
Talia Rose Carter.
Noalie Blanche Hoso.
Patrick F. O'Neill.
Tanab Thanjaru.
Tyler Joseph Carvin.
Colin Michael Hoy.
Tyler James Oravec.
Angelica Nang Tivaroth.
Caroline Rose Casey.
William Huang.
Aiden Rodney Orth.
Luke Christian Thorson.
David Robert Cashley.
Nicholas Alexander Hughes.
Brennan Robert Orth.
Yashrita Shri Thota.
Fiona Mercedes Castellanos Furla.
William James Hughes.
Louis John Orth.
Cameron Tyler Taco.
Aroldo Anibal Castro.
Ethan Michael Humphrey.
Nicole Michelle Ortiz.
Ethan Robert Torrey.
Nicholas James Cataldi.
Jer Aquana Hunter.
Richard Chow Ooch.
Danielle Marie Trader.
Yuan Lin Sen.
Caitlin Huang.
Cole Alexander Overton.
Finlan Lee Tron.
Jessica Jeanette Chambers.
Elise Dale Hurry.
Maya Paulette Owens.
Tony Khan Tron.
Audrey Rose Champagne.
Kevin Quinn.
Nicole Marie Owak.
Juliana Triffin.
Krishna Venesi Chantaroth.
Jared Christopher Husar.
Christian James Osimo.
Chui V. Trin.
Justin Chen.
Brianna Rose Iannuzzi.
Juliana Marie Pagan.
Rosa Trong.
Sharon Lei Chen.
Gianna Nicole Iannuzzi.
Alexandra Pack.
Michael Jesse Twinam.
Carolyn Miriam Cherian.
Joseph Severio Iannuzzi Jr.
Sabrina Denise Palmer.
Corellos Tamer Two Files.
Andy Lee Cherney.
Natasha Anastasia Ilovsky.
Sarali R. Panchani.
Atara Nafisha Tayasha.
Ayub Sharadi.
Ji Hyo Im.
Nikolaus Papa Nicolau.
Melanda Timia Tyler.
Anthony Dane Childs.
Nicholas James Inchuri.
Kaylin Marie Papula.
Carolyn May Tyree.
Madison Rose Chesniak.
Alexander Patrick Irvin.
Elizabeth Park.
Joshua Neil Ullman.
Joseph Cho.
Christy Lynn Da Irvin.
Gabriel Yunho Park.
Alexis Michelle Ulrich.
Myung Huok Cho.
Abir Islam.
Katie Hyuna Park.
Brett William Udinsky.
Brian Choi.
Shadia Islam.
Richard Park.
Christian Vadarlis.
Justin Juyung Choi.
Ashwini Ayapen.
Seon Park.
Sarah Celeste Vahe.
Ryan Christopher Choi.
Joseph Scott Jackson.
Alyssa Marie Parncut.
Joseph Robert Valenti.
Serena Choi.
Journey Kimari Jackson.
Ankit S. Patel.
Allison Marie Belovich.
Susie Choi.
Chase Thomas Jacobs.
Arjun Patel.
Brendan Christopher Vandeven.
Alexandra Chioma Chamicki.
Wasi Muhammad Jalal.
Croy Nilesh Patel.
Kristen Marie Varilla.
Shirin Q Chong.
Nabil Jamil.
Darsh R. Patel.
Annika Varma.
Amberly Karen Christensen.
Diana Grace James.
Disha Patel.
Benjamin Nanine Varghese.
James Matthew J.H. Chapalia.
Noah Stephen Janoski.
Harsh Patel.
Alyssa Nicole Vasquez.
Deani Lee Clark.
Zachary Michael Jays.
Jay Bhavik Patel.
Brandon Matthew Vasquez.
Tara Clegg.
Julia Mackenzie Jordan.
J. N. Patel.
Lily Jean Vasker.
Matthew Jacob Cohen.
Aiden Worthington Jerome.
Jeet Himanshu Patel.
Nilai Tarun Valankar.
Naja Aaliyah Colbert Spencer.
Olivia Rose Jerome.
Kajal Rajesh Kumar Patel.
Akshaya Thurnalai Venkateshwaran.
Jackson Patrick Colcher.
Connie Jiang.
Karan Unish Patel.
Shelby Renee Verna.
Andrew Cole.
Benjamin Philip Jimenez.
Kaser Patel.
Grace Marie Vesey.
Andrew Benjamin Coles.
Rachel Esther Jimenez.
Kuldeep B. Patel.
Matthew Allen Virtue.
Trace Stephen Coulter.
Antonio Jesus Jimenez Morales.
Manav Ritesh Patel.
Kevin A. Vos.
Hannah Shea Conley.
Angela C. Joby.
Nay Patel.
Corey Todd Vokes.
Shane Ryan Connors.
Brandon William John.
Priyal B. Patel.
Catherine Christine Von Abo.
Nicholas Larson Conroy.
Tyler Torrance Johns.
Priyanka Rutuke Patel.
Emily Elizabeth Von Reiner.
Emily Taylor Coogan.
Angela Rose Johnson.
Sahil Pankaj Patel.
Ryan Daniel Varan.
Thomas Charles Cook.
Brian Joseph Johnson.
Satyam Prashant Patel.
Madeline Margaret Voss.
Matthew Dennis Cooney.
Cynthia Louise Johnson.
Shiv Patel.
Juliana Marie Bazzolo.
Emily Jean Cooper.
India Simone Johnson.
Shivam Bhavinkumar Patel.
Victoria Dawn Vong.
Kaleem Brandon Corbin.
Evan Campbell Jones.
Shivani Bipinbhai Patel.
Madison Rose Wagner.
Alyssa Carol Corcoran.
Michael Patrick Jones.
Shri A. Patel.
Sydney Ryan Wydell.
Gabrielle Philomena Corrado.
Jude Matthew Jordan.
Shrini Patel.
Alyssa Morgan Waldman.
Sarah Elizabeth Cosme.
Mark Douglas Jordan.
Smit Nilesh Patel.
Imani Alexis Walker.
Madison Lynn Coughlin.
Bridget Mercy Joseph.
Vidhi Hitesh Kumar Patel.
Alicia Marie Walter.
Megan Elizabeth Colton.
Yash D. Joshi.
Vidhi P. Patel.
Jacob Connor Walton.
Joe K. Courtney.
Griffin Lee Juknowitz.
Yug Gautam Patel.
Jeremy Matthew Walton.
Augustine James Covlins.
Rebecca Lynn Julius.
Andrew John Patterson II.
Michael Wang.
Allison Rose Cox.
Subin Julia Jung.
Morgan Elizabeth Patterson.
William Lee Wang.
Tyler Patrick Coyne.
Raj Minaj Kalola.
Daniel William Payne.
Crow Elizabeth Wardwell Gall.
Dylan James Craig.
Hiba Kamal.
Kaylee Lauren Pearson.
Emily Shook Warfield.
Samantha Lynn Cranch.
Anuj Kamani.
Annika Pennypacker.
Jessica Renee Warner.
Cheyenne Alexa Cravener.
Janavi Shuram Kanunganasaram.
Kirsta Pennypacker.
Allison Elaine Warren.
Emily Elizabeth Crawford.
Allison Kang.
Danielle Lynn Pepe.
Joshua Andrew Warsaw.
Hannah Elizabeth Cutler.
Nayan Julie Kang.
Catherine Yancey Parander.
Ijaya Siana Washington.
David Stanley Chekai.
Cinderia Cannon.
John Stanley Peters.
Carly Reese Waters.
Anna Renee D'Agostino.
Brett Logan Katz.
Erin Christine Pfister.
Ozzie C. Watson.
Megan Catherine Daniels.
Jahan Nusrat Kazi.
John Minhuang Pham.
Jenna Nicole Webb.
Justina Danilovich.
Evan Thomas Keebler.
Megan Eileen Phelan.
Ethan Thomas Weber.
Shannon Elizabeth Darcy.
Brittany Ann Kelly.
Jillian Lee Phillips.
Joseph Michael Weeks Jr.
Prinjasi Das.
Cynthia Jennifer Kelly.
Amir Juwan Pickens.
Dalton Scott Weitzel.
Santasri Desari.
Magnolia Hope Kemp.
Paulina Katarzyna Piankowska.
Shannon Christy Flanagan Wenzel.
Enza Diacero.
Madison Ellen Kearney.
Jordan Nicole Petrikowski.
William Lewis Wormuth.
Isha Dave.
Cole Christopher Courage.
Olivia Joy Peranti.
Marissa Elizabeth Werner.
Alea Jaleesa Davis.
Rahib Khan.
Diana Mackenzie Pursuit.
David Westcott.
Ashley Rachel Davis.
Maria Kodak.
Taylor Janelle Pittner.
Julian Matthew White.
Corey Trevon Davis.
Reza Alam Kushnabish.
Kat Joanna Perry.
Emily Renee Wiley.
Jomo Jerome Davis.
Reina Barat Kikani.
Nicholas John Powat.
Madhu Mary William.
Justin Tyler Davis.
Eugene Kim.
Prem Polam Reddy.
Ariel Sarai Williams.
Logan Skylar Davis.
Ik Kim.
Megan Kirkland Poley.
Dylan Ryan Williams.
Aditi Boljit Singh Dayal.
J. Stephen Kim.
Kira Ann Pond.
Andrew David Winner.
Lesser DeMarchena Rodriguez.
Jaewon Kim.
Alicia Ann Powers.
Michael Jonathan Wister.
Martasia Amira Dean.
Joseph Young Kim.
Kieran Ann Prabhakar.
Joseph Michael Whitman.
Brooke Lynn DeGraffenwright.
Sophia Bomi Kim.
Ishika Pradhan.
Ayana Lynn Woodbury.
Angelina Jenny DeJesus.
Yik Young Kim.
Adam Patrick Prater.
Katharina Jane Work.
Kylie Elizabeth Demetrius.
Jeffrey Charles King.
Chris Sarah Proano.
Abigail Michelle Worthington.
Stephen DePaul.
Patrick Gordon Kirsch.
Ashton Puentes.
Haley Susan Reith.
Lauren Ashley Durham.
Gabriel Michael Klaus.
Shivani Pulagura.
Tyler Michael Waslick.
Annika Trisha Desai.
Paul Griffith Clemmer.
Sakal Puth.
Angela Elizabeth Wu.
Bansri Pragnesh Desai.
Tanya Carr Clare.
Nicholas Tyler Pyatt.
Jocelyn Phoenix Winecoop.
Pushti Jigger Desai.
Emma Catherine Courts.
Samira Rashakanda.
Marlene Assam Yacob.
Rahul P. Desai.
Nikhil Kathuru.
Sanjay Radhakrishnan.
Felicia Kexon Yan.
Kira Lynn DeStefano.
Stephen James Kowalczyk Jr.
Nandi Ternay Reagan.
Kayla Madison Yancey.
Olivia Joyce Dusing.
Jessica Lynn Kazempel.
Mafuzur Rahman.
Kiana Marie Yancey.
Satabdi Devi.
Gregory Kuzminski.
Naima Rahman.
Allison Singyer Yang.
Fahim Islam Drubo.
Kristen Ashley Kralik.
Nija Rahman.
Sarah Yang.
Anderson Humberto Diaz Godinez.
Matthew Justin Kramer.
Rita Rahman.
Lucas Michael Yannel.
Emma Rose Dixon.
Julia Elizabeth Kratz.
Tanvir Rahman.
Jacob Andrew Yates.
Matthew Christopher Dixon.
Lauren Rose Kratz.
Tasmia F. Rahman.
Alicia J. Yee.
Taylor Marie DeProsperos.
Zachary Thomas Crosskoff.
Jessica Lauren Rawl.
Luke Salvatore Yoder.
Lindsay Claire DeStefano.
Katerina Marie Kreis.
Kanil Rahmani.
Curtis John Young.
Brittany May Doe.
Sierra Renee Kroll.
Andrew Gabriel Ramirez.
Jake Edward Young.
Sydney Marlene Doherty.
Roman Michael Kubas.
Leonel Daniel Ramos.
Mark Christopher Young.
Daniel John Dolan.
Kelly Francis Kugler.
Simran Vipul Rathod.
Rachel Jihae Yu.
Francesca Ann Dolan.
Caitlin Marie Cook.
Julia Teresa Ray.
Samuel Sunghan Yu.
Matthew Jonathan Dooley.
Jordan Nicole Kowalski.
Kathleen Teresa Reali.
John Douglas Unaska.
Philip John Doppel.
Annabove K. Kundu.
Ashley Grace Reeves.
Andrew Marco Zanoni.
Sean Blake Doran.
Emmeline Tav Koch.
Kevin John Reed Jr.
Dev Sunil Saveri.
Frank Richard DeRazio.
Natalie Marguerite Kortnick.
Patrick William Riley.
Austin Michael Ziegler.
Claire Kaisa Dragwa.
Andrew Law.
Anita Rexa.
Denalia Ann Z.
Jacob Joseph Drellick.
Allison Rachel Lasienka.
Darian Danielle Reyes.
Alexander Howe Joe.
Colin Michael Drennan.
Zachariah Lahuji.
Jose Joel Reyes.
Mason George Ziegler.
Tyler Eugene Duane.
Timothy Joseph Lally.
Layla Richardson Seegers.
Garrett David Zimmerman.
Logan Michael Dubill.
Isaac Samuel Lambert.
Carlo Ilfano Rixey.
Caitlin Paige Zimmerman.
Emma Catherine Dungan.
Pete Lambros.
Stephen Nicholas Rink.
Tyler Vincent Serpoli.
Jonathan Wayne Duong.
Liam Alexander Lanier.
Samantha Ann Ritchie.
Jacob Adam Zoll.
Joseph Louis Duran.
Kai Benjamin Lepreziosa.
Nicholas Rajiv Rizio.
Aaron Alicia Levine Sotomayor.
Rebecca Ann Durkee.
David Austin Larkin.
Sultan Yusuf Erkine.
Rachel Irene Zenwala.
Morgan Louise Dyke.
Kia Andrea Larkin.
Angela Marie Roberts.
Luke Isaac Dyer.
Eric James Laughlin.
Allie Christina Robinson.
Destiny Denise Ector.
Aaron Giselle Lavoie.
Kimberly Marie Robinson.
Jeremy Nicholas Edelman.
Kristen New Lee.
Markel I. Robinson.
Ashley Christine Edwards.
Lara Lay.
Olivia Grace Robinson.
Shamar Edwards Green.
Mary Catherine Huang Ung Lee.
Solomon Rodney Robinson.
Andrew James Eglin.
Jonathan James Leahy.
Zoe Dolores Robinson.
Adam M. Elkabiri.
Emily Miriam Lieber.
Dominic Jackson Rodriguez.
Tyler William Elliott.
Anna Juyoung Lee.
Diamond Kiera Rodriguez.
Luke Matthew Ellison.
David J. Lee.
Nicole Stephanie Rodriguez.
Marlu Esmeralda Dominguez.
Grace Jayon Lee.
Christian Michael Romano.
Jin Lee.
Damon J. Romano.
Ryan D. Lee.
Letice Estela Romero Zavala.
Yiji Lee.
Rachel Elizabeth Rosenblatt. Michael Joseph Rasta. Gavin William Rotans. Sydney Lauren Roth. Hannah Elizabeth Rothman. Yassine Rooney Belhaj. Eric Martin Rowe. Nicholas William Rowland. Kirsten Marie Royals. Thanks, Ev.
Now, I would like to ask Mrs. Margaret Marino and Mr. John Fluck, your senior class advisors, to read the names of the senior class officers and congratulate them for their hard work. Following the class officers, Ms. Mary Scott and Dr. Marjorie Dieg will read the names of those graduating in absentia.
Sean Patrick Laconi.
John Paul Grattan IV. Jared Dominic Albano.
Sarah Ann Marshall.
Graduating in absentia this evening, MD Shaquille Ahmed, Ryan Michael Behan, Matthew Ray Benitz, Nathan Andrew Bumgardner, John Robert Burkett, Danielle Marie Cockador, Sarah Erica Kavasmi, Jack Robert Cannell, John William Craney, Ryan Matthew Fazzolari, Avery Charles Fox, Bree LeRae Herder.
David James Marcus, Dwayne Green Masato, Brian Hoy Namkam, Tomasa Popatares, John James Stoller, Chloe Elizabeth Smith, Cody Lamar Tyner, Olivia Rose Visco, Kelsey Peyton Winship, Matthew Alexander Woods, and Vincento Giuseppe Zula.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. Before our closing remarks and the moving of the tassel, I want to remind you that, as in years past, each graduate's name will appear on the marquee twice for 5 minutes each time. The schedule for these names will be posted on our website on June 19th. The names will appear on the marquee beginning on June 24th. Please feel free to be here at the designated time for a photo opportunity. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Kurt Dietrich, Superintendent of Schools for the North Penn School District, to the stage to address the class of 2019. Joining Dr. Dietrich will again be Ms. Mary Scott and Dr. Marjorie Dieg, the assistant principals for the class of 2019, to offer closing remarks and to advise you to move your tassel from right to left, signifying your graduation from the North Penn School District. Please wait until they say congratulations to toss your cap and celebrate. Dr. Dietrich.
Good evening. As Superintendent of Schools, it is truly my pleasure to participate in commencement exercises. The ultimate goal of 13 years of education is to prepare you for this moment, where we can send you into the world prepared for post-secondary education and/or the world of work. So it is with tremendous pride that I and all 1,000 904 North Penn employees whom I represent this evening congratulate you and wish you the very best in the next stage of your life. This is the 10th year in which I am serving as superintendent of schools of our school district. Each year at commencement, I offer a bit of advice, and as I think back to each of those years, I believe the one piece of advice that graduates most appreciated was this: know your audience. Yes, know your audience. For example, if one day you become a superintendent of schools and you find yourself at this place in the commencement program, know that no one wants to hear a long speech from the superintendent. So understanding all of that about knowing your audience and so that we can keep the momentum building, please allow me to move directly to the official pronouncement for which you have worked 13 years to hear. And that pronouncement is, now by the powers vested in me by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the North Penn School District's Board of Education, I hereby declare that all members of the class of 2019 whose names have been read this evening and who have been certified to me as having met all necessary requirements from this point forward shall be known as graduates of North Penn High School. Congratulations.
So Dr. Dieg and I did a coin toss before ceremony tonight. She gets to look pretty and I get to read. Class of 2019, you have certainly left your mark on North Penn High School. It is time now for us to share you with the rest of the world. We leave you with these parting words. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and always stay true to yourself. We are so very proud of you, and we will truly miss you. Class of 2019, I invite Dr. Marjorie Dieg to demonstrate for you what you are about to do. Class of 2019, please rise. Now join us in moving your tassel from right to left, signifying that you are now graduates of North Penn High School. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Joke.